Works and Safety. Roll call. Here.
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 Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of August 24th.
Motion to defer.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Under correspondence, item A, we have an agreement with First Group Engineering for consulting services for Port District Lighting, 2017, from 170th Street, on 170th Street and on 173rd Street and Jefferson Avenue. And the dollar amount on that contract is $30,340.64.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion passes. I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Janet Venez. Morning.
Morning.
Item B, we have a contract with Hawk Enterprises for the Hammond Lighting Project 2017. 173rd place from Calumet Avenue to Tapper, 170th place from Tapper to Columbia, and Jefferson Avenue from Locust to 165th. And the dollar amount on this contract is $304,485.70.
Christine or Jonathan, is this a district contract?
Yes, there is a...
Fourth District, right?
It is a district one?
Yeah.
Okay.
District where? Fourth District. That's
No,
the
a
one we
district,
just...
a district contract. Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item C, an agreement for professional services with SCH of Indiana, LLC, for consulting services for Oakley Avenue improvements from Douglas to Fayette.
I got a comment about that.
Okay?
That one, I believe the redevelopment may be paying for that.
Microphone.
The redevelopment might be paying for that one, because there was a signature for that for Africa. So that might have snuck on there with the other contracts.
Yeah, but it's got our signatures,
There's a signature block in there? Okay, that's,
so is it a joint project maybe?
it very well could be. If you want to approve it, and I'll see where the funds are coming, maybe it's being run through the board and the redevelopment's paying for it.
What's the total dollar amount on this, Mark?
It's about $29,800.
$29,600. It's with the client's representative, the Board of Public Works and Safety. So it's got to be a City of Hammond project,
But
right?
is this the street and parking lot project in downtown Hammond?
That's the street project in front of 18th Street.
I do think this is coming out of redevelopment, so I'm wondering if they really should be signing this contract. Are we on a
But it
strict
is a
timeline
public,
here?
but it is a public street.
That's true.
So it may be that we're signing it and redevelopment's going to sign off on it too. And we're involved because it is on public right of way.
And redevelopment's paying for it, is my understanding.
We've done
Okay.
stuff like that before.
So I didn't want to, I know there wasn't, it's kind of a
Yeah, we just
unique
don't want
one.
to double pay it.
Right, we won't double pay.
Have they signed anything yet, a
They
resolution
have
or
not
anything?
signed anything as of yet. But they did initiate the project.
You want to prove it subject to clarification
Yeah.
as to who is going to actually pay for the work?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll make a motion to approve, subject to
Thank you.
clarification as to the funding source.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item D, request for advertising dates of September 7th and September 14th with a bid opening date of September 28th for 6th District Lighting Project, Illinois and Idaho between 165th and 169th.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion passes. Item E, request of advertising dates of September 7th and September 14th with a bid opening of September 28 for the Columbia Park Trail. Who's paying for that, Mark?
The councilman is
This
paying
one's
for that.
this one.
Okay. For which district is that? Second?
This is, yeah.
Okay. Second district.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item F, contract with JM Industrial Services for $6,100 for the removal of an underground tank, removal and cleanup submitted for approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion passes. Item G, contract for demolition services with JM Industrial Services for demolition services of 1021 169th, rear only, 1236 175th, 7622 Catalpa, garage and shed only, 4137 Dearborn, 4415 Henry, 4409 Johnson, 2824 New York Avenue, 7149 Ontario, 1527 River Drive, 7015 through 17 Van Buren, 636 Willow Court, and 704 Willow Court. Is there a total dollar amount on that?
No.
Oh,
It's individual.
by the parcels.
You need to read them.
Where's they getting paid from?
This is, I think, partially demo and partially BEP program. Is that right, Chris? These are combination of just regular demolition and BEP program demos?
That is correct. Actually, Kelly and I were just going through some of the addresses, you know, like 7149, that guy's almost done. But yes, I would ask you to please approve these. Obviously, the ones that are going to be off the demolition list, the city will not issue permits.
So the total is not to exceed $91,100.
Correct, but it's actually going to be far less than that because, for example, I know 7149, we're probably going to pull off the list, and I think there was another one that's 704 Willow, I think is under a rehab agreement as well.
Okay.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item H, agreement with live stream for services submitted for approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item I, correspondence received from Chief of Inspections Kelly Kearney, recommending the bid for 7247 Calumet Avenue demolition be awarded to JM Industrial Services.
That's the big hole at the, across from the Walgreens there. I would ask you to please approve it. I'd like to get that filled in as quickly as possible before somebody drives into it. And there's no environmental, there's no NIPSCO because it's just a hole in the ground.
Kelly, is this going through the regular demolition account?
Emergency demo, we opened the bids last week.
Okay.
Our service was bidder, but they did not bid on removing the rest of the asphalt concrete.
But this will be put into the regular demolition fund?
Yes.
We'll pay for it. Okay. Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against? Motion passes. Item J, correspondence received authorizing funds from Fort District Bill Emerson Sr. in the amount of $30,340.64 for design work and contract with First Group Engineering for construction contract with Hawk for 173rd place from US 41, Calumet Avenue to Tapper Avenue, 170th place from Tapper to Columbia, and Jefferson Avenue from Locust to 165th. Those were the items under A and B, right?
I believe so.
This is the money.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item K, correspondence received from Reith Riley Construction Company Incorporated requesting to revise the current truck detour route of Indianapolis Boulevard to 165th Street to Calumet Avenue, revised to Indianapolis Boulevard, 129th to Calumet, submitted for approval. Mark, is that 129 is currently posted no trucks?
That is correct. Actually, the 165th is going to start under construction next week. And IHB, which is the next one, they're gonna close it for 10 days. So we can get the no truck route taken, or no trucks on 129th Street. I believe it's very, it's adequate to handle the traffic.
The pavement section is adequate for short-term like this.
Right, and with all the railroad crossings, Calumet's gonna be coming through Norfolk Southern, and also 169th. These detours are starting to crisscross, so we're just taking that up north because Chicago Avenue is gonna be totally closed, with cross
So,
streets going north and south.
Can you talk to Gary Gleason? If there is a sign out there, maybe they should bag it or pull it temporarily?
Oh,
Because then the
absolutely.
trucks will be looking for some other route and it'll be on 121st. And bring it up with the traffic captain to make sure that they don't ticket people utilizing it during this short-term detour.
I know.
It's only for 2 weeks, right?
It's gonna be for a little bit longer than 2 weeks, because 165th is gonna be under construction, but it's gonna be open.
Okay.
But it's gonna be lane restrictions either way. So it was kind of difficult with everything else, with the boulevard being shut down too, at the railroad tracks. All these detours are crisscrossing.
Yeah, that's the only good alternate route because it's got wide enough intersections at both ends so trucks can make the turn movements.
Right, and Norfolk Southern, they just finished up today with their track replacement, but there's some upcoming crossings that are gonna be closed,
Okay.
so.
Do I have a motion approving the change of the detour route?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
2.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item L, correspondence received from Indiana Harbor Belt Railroad requesting permission to close 165th Street the week of September 11th through September 22nd to replace all crossing material and renewing the ballast under the tracks on both tracks submitted for approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Notice of violation for property located at 6430 Monroe Avenue.
Good morning. This was a home that's a single-family home that was converted somewhere along the lines to a 2-unit. So asking for the removal of the second-floor apartment based on the grounds of no fire separation and not having any permits to create those units.
Make a motion to affirm the order?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item N, correspondence received from Terry Butler, Director of Transportation, requesting to place traffic cones on the center line of Northcott Avenue, east of the exit gate at Gavitt High School. The cones would be placed from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. And that's
Yes.
just a control to prevent traffic from turning?
Yes, we have an issue there with traffic coming out of the parking lot making left-hand turns. We have signage on the school property saying right turns only. The corner there at Northcott and by Gavitt gets congested very, very bad. We would like to make the traffic out of the parking lot turn right. We've been having our buses do that, and as long as they can get out of the parking lot, then they're also on time. But it's very, very congested right there. School City doesn't have the money to move the road clear down the property, so that's what we're requesting, to try it. We're gonna see how it works.
Will the school city be providing the cones?
Yes, we'll put the cones, and our staff will set them out and take them down. And the extra part is, it's only when school's in session. It wouldn't be, naturally Monday through Friday when school's in session.
So how long of time frame do you think you'll know if it's gonna work or not?
I would guess in
30
a week.
days?
I would guess
I
in a
mean, you're
week.
gonna get pushback from parents, there's no question there.
Well, we have had people go out when we can. I've gone over there when I can and force cars to go to the right. They do it. Mainly that parking lot is staff and school buses and some parents. And even the staff, they don't want to go to the right. But
If somebody's watching, then they'll typically follow the rules,
as
but if
long
there's
as
nobody
we
there.
stand there and say, go this way.
Yeah, we can always, if you're having trouble, we could always have the traffic cap, and maybe have a squad swing by there once in a while on,
And we have had them come by and it will control it for a day or two after and then they're back. So we just wanted to see if the cones they wouldn't try to run through the cones.
okay.
Can we allow that? Do we need that to go to somebody else? Can we allow that ourselves, or do we need this to go to someone else?
We should be able to allow that on a trial basis.
Okay, so a 30-day trial basis?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the placement of the cones on a 30-day trial basis.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Would you like me to come back then to a meeting after the 30 days and let you know?
After
what-
30 days, either send us a letter or stop back at the meeting and just tell us how it's working out. Then if
Okay.
you need it extended, we can extend that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item O, correspondence received from the Williams family requesting a street closure at 1122 Moss Street for their annual memorial picnic on September 9th from 12 noon to 8 p.m. Does it have to go to police department too?
Yeah, probably Place and Street. Okay. Make a motion to approve, subject to the review and approval by the Street and Police Departments.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item P, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 6116 Alexander Avenue, submitted for approval.
This is another property on the demolition list, and I'm just asking the board to please approve it for rehabilitation.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item Q, acknowledgement of subdivision plats for properties located at 6539 Indianapolis Boulevard and property located at 2500 to 2600 blocks of New York Avenue. This is
Former
from
Pizza
Brian
Hut.
Poland. Yeah, this
Yeah.
just gives us an opportunity to comment.
That's right across from
It's a former Pizza Hut.
What do you wanna turn it into?
You wanna do, yeah.
Gee.
Do you want to take a look at the plans?
Yeah, why don't we approve it subject to review by the board president or something like that?
Okay,
And I'll take a look at it after the meeting.
okay.
Got it.
Motion to approve, subject to the review and approval by the board president.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item R, acknowledgement of disposal authorizations. There's a bunch of these.
None of them do that. After towing season. Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion passes. Item S, garage sale permit submitted for approval.
None of these two.
Oh, there's another one. This one's connected.
This is off, right? Is this one us? Is that us still?
Maiden Lane. I think it is. Yeah, Maiden Lane's.
I never never know when it gets
That's
up
up there in
there.
God's country, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
Maiden Lane's like a glorified alley.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing all of these ones here with this, the purge is gonna be included. It must be a big event.
What's the purge?
I don't know. Apparently,
I
it's like a
never heard of
black
that.
wide garage sale or something. So I'm just guessing that they're all in Hammond.
Yeah, that's Hammond too.
Okay. How about this one?
Purge is their neighborhood. 1620 Indianapolis, that's Hammond.
They must do a big like black wide yard
That's
sale.
Hammond. That is Hammond because it's on the right side of the street.
You're so good.
I had to look at the address twice.
Another Atchison.
1604 Atchison, that would be Hammond. The other side of the street is Whiting. 2306 Indianapolis. That's Hammond.
All right. Now we're good again. Good?
It's tricky up there.
Yeah, it is. Boulevard, again.
Make a motion to approve the garage sale permits.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item 6, matters from other board members.
I do have one matter before the board. It is up there. If you recall, a couple weeks ago, we issued a deed for the property on Birch Street. The auditor's office has rejected
Oh, it's this one?
the deed because the owner of the property on their computer is City of Hammond. Our deed says City of Hammond by its Board of Public Works. Apparently, they can't determine those are the same entity, so I'm resubmitting the deed for signature with the name just City of Hammond, and hopefully that should eliminate the confusion.
Okay.
So do you need an authorization for this?
I need you to sign it. I need to be signed and notarized.
But you don't need a motion?
No.
No? Okay.
Okay. Any other matters from other board members?
No.
Any matters from department heads or their representatives? Any new business? Any old business? I have something for old business. Yes? Step up to the microphone, state your name for the record.
My name is Jeremy Watson. I'll try to be as quick as I can for you. I'm here today to resolve an issue with some rental stickers for my property at 38 Highland Street. I purchased the property July 11th of 2016. I called the office to get the rental stickers. I was told to come into the office, so I came into the office. They told me I don't own the property and needed to provide proof that I do, so I wound up providing proof, came back with it, gave you guys the copies. You guys made copies of it. After that, I was told to fill out some paperwork, so I filled out the paperwork. I was told I'd receive a letter from you, and then I would have a meeting with you and come in front of you, and we would talk about it. I was also told that they would remove the fines and not to worry, because as you can see, I'm very worried about this. It was kind of shooken up at the time. So you sent me the letter on July 18th, 2017. The letter that you sent, which I do have a copy of, was sent to apartment 4. I live in the rear apartment, and I have proof of that as well. It's on my driver's license. I did not, intentionally not come to the meeting. I did not get that letter until after the meeting had happened, which was on August 3rd. So that's why I missed the meeting. So I called in and was like, I told them this, and they basically told me to write you a letter. So then I wrote you a letter. After I wrote you a letter, and then the letter got declined to talk about this. So then I called in again, and I got transferred to Madeline, which is not even your guys' department. It's like a legal company. I don't know why I got transferred over there. She said she'd figure it out for me. She calls me back and basically tells me that she has no documents of this because I'm not laid on a fine yet. So then I go back into the office, and I'm trying to get this resolved. I speak to Evelyn downstairs, and we really weren't getting anywhere, so she kindly refers me over to Kelly, and I speak to Kelly about it, and he winds up sending me upstairs, and I'm told it has to go in front of the Supreme Court, and you guys meet on Thursday, which is why I'm here today. You guys are finding me for 4 units. I currently reside in one of them. I'm just trying to get this resolved. I'm asking the board to remove the additional fines on the 3 units and the 4th unit I live in.
Kelly, can I just ask you,
Yeah.
you've been in communication with this gentleman. Do you have that paperwork in front of you today?
No.
Okay.
I have the paperwork.
Yeah. Sir, can I get a little bit of clarification from you?
Okay.
I thought you said initially that you purchased the property in June of 16, is that correct?
July, yes.
I'm sorry, July of 16?
Yes, that's
So
correct.
it's never been registered at all?
It was previously registered. The
But not-
previous
not with
owner
you.
registered it,
Okay.
but not under me. That is correct.
All right, what I'm going to advise you is to, after the meeting, make sure Kelly has the name and the address, and we'll set you can you appear next week at our Board of Works meeting?
Yes, I can. The fine is due on the 3rd, I believe. I have it in front of me somewhere.
Yeah.
Not on Sunday.
Hold on.
7, that's fine. We'll set it for a hearing on September 7th.
Okay.
That way that our building department can have the paperwork in front of them, so we can,
Okay.
and we have that information to take a look at. I will let you know that typically once a hearing is missed, it moves on in the process to our collections attorney.
Okay.
And that's why, once it goes there, it's a little out of our hands. So it looks like it
I
might be
understand.
still within in the mix there. So we can set it for next week to go through it more fully with you.
Okay, I'll see you
Okay.
next week then.
So if you want to hang around here just to make sure that we get your address,
Okay.
the correct address for mailing purposes, your name, number, so that we can notify you properly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It didn't go to collection yet.
No, okay, that's why it's not quite.
No, there's nothing in this, not my memory,
He said he doesn't.
conversation.
So you're not prepared to talk about this
Any
today?
paperwork, it's kind of an involved case.
So what about the fine being due on the 3rd?
We're not going to pay a fine, we're not expecting to pay a fine until we have a hearing.
Okay.
Punishment for when they have it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to set for hearing on September 7th and stay the fine until after the hearing date.
Second.
September 7th is
Oh, I did
it's
that
2
wrong.
weeks?
No, one week, it's already there.
Next week is already September 7th? Boy,
Yes.
Time flies.
If I may, can we set it for the 14th? Both Jaime and I will be on vacation. I don't know if you want to bump this on, Chris.
Okay. Is
Can
that
you
all right
do
with
the
you?
fine.
14th?
Yes.
I'll amend my motion to set for hearing on the 14th.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Anybody else for old business?
Okay.
We move to item double A, representative from Hammond Park Department requesting street closures around Hammond Civic Center for an event on September 2nd.
Yes, we've asked that we be able to close streets around the Hammond Civic Center for the event on September 2nd. Also, the request to charge, the promoters are charging parking, and there was a question as to whether or not they could charge folks who are actually parking on the streets within that closure. At a meeting, I think that was approved by Mayor.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, and Mayor said that that would be okay to do. Right now, we're just hoping to get approval to close the streets.
And I think last time you were here, Sue, we said, I don't think Attorney Cantor had a chance to review anything. Chris, have you? Okay, everything's good? You've had a chance to take a look at it?
It's there, I finished the
Okay.
report now.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We move down to item double B, correspondence received from Lisa Samani requesting to block 172nd Street between Monroe and the alley to the east of Monroe Street on 172nd Street for a Halloween birthday fall celebration party on October 28 from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. The plan is to obtain the use of picnic tables and possible jump houses. Jump houses on public right-of-way, we typically don't approve, right?
I don't think they could secure it on the street.
Yeah. Typically, the jump house is on private property. If there's enough room to put it in their front yard,
Correct. We normally require it on private property just because we don't want somebody to be injured on city property.
Yeah, let's
Perhaps
see.
you can contact a neighbor and put it on their property.
yeah, because
Yeah, let's
like
see, 'cause it just says the plan is to obtain it, so maybe they're wanting to block the streets and put the jump house on their own lawn or something.
I think we need to.
Request more information?
Well, yeah, we're gonna need, we need the police review of this too, right?
Right.
Yeah, we need to know where the jump house is actually going to be placed. Because if it's on a private lawn, the problem with putting it in the street is trying to anchor it, they're gonna damage the asphalt surface. Plus there's the issue of a hard surface under it instead of a lawn. So I don't think that we want the liability. So let's ask for additional information and forward a copy of this over to the street department and the police department. And specifically tell them that we want to know where the jump house, where they plan on placing that.
Make a motion to request additional information regarding the placement of the jump house and also to send to the police department for review of the street closure.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item 10, meetings open to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to step up to the microphone? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.